Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I'm Gary, your host. This is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. Well, this one is not an older comic, but it is tied in to an older comic that I have already done an episode of. Here, I just picked this up the other day. I didn't know it was coming out, but I saw it. I had to get it, which is Defenders of the Earth, #1 from Mad Cave Comics. I know absolutely nothing about Mad Cave Comics. Apparently, by this insignia there, they've been around for 10 years. I do remember seeing a few other, books on the stand that I haven't picked up with the Mad Cave insignia on it. But otherwise, they're completely unknown to me. And this is, of course, Defenders of the Earth has a pedigree. Okay, and this book, this #1, is written by Dan Didio, or is that supposed to be pronounced Didio? I don't know. But I remember him from DC Comics. And art by, is that James Calafiore? And coloring by J.Velez, or Velez. I guess that's how you pronounce that. And I know nothing of either of those, but they're doing well here. It was a pretty good job. And Defenders of the Earth is a 1986 animated series, which is produced for one season with a total of 65 episodes, and and it featured adventure characters owned by King Features Syndicate. That's a newspaper syndicate based on the newspaper comic characters, featuring Flash Gordon, the Phantom, and Mandrake the Magician, with his companion Lothar. And they've all had gone through some changes in this, and it also includes their children as they fight against the invading forces of Ming the Merciless of the planet Mongo. Now, in 86, 87, Marvel produced 4 issues of Defenders of the Earth, and I have an episode showing those. That's episode 55. Check it out if you'd care to. That would be nice and give you a good background connection to the two. And then, of course, that was in conjunction with the animated series, and that series was animated series was done by produced by Marvel Productions. Now let's have a look. Now for background, here are our cast of main characters: Flash Gordon himself, the Phantom, Mandrake the Magician, and Lothar. Now, Mandrake has no children of his own, but in the course of the story, he picks up an orphaned boy by the name of Kashin, and he adopts him and his companion Lothar, and they're good friends. And in the comic strip, he was, well, I won't go into that. Mandrake was a stage magician. He probably inspired by Blackstone, the magician, who was a real stage magician, had a radio show in which he solved mysteries using stage magic. And And that's the way he started. But he was also had some legit powers and stuff. I don't remember or know enough about him. And his companion was Lothar, who was his companion and servant. Well, that was back in the 30s, and he is an equal partner, and he is an engineering genius and stuff. And he has a son. I can't remember his son's name. Flash Gordon has a son. He was married to Dale Arden, and in the course of the story, Dale Arden was killed, and his teenage son Rick, is a major character, and then there is Flash Gordon's daughter Jeddah. So that's and Ming the Merciless. We don't know how many years they've been fighting Ming the Merciless, but it's been a while, and this is where we pick up, and I'm not going to cover the whole thing in detail because it is brand new and it's out on the stands right now. But I wanted to give a review of this. Defenders of the Earth. And it starts off in 2020, the Earth's war with Mongo, the final day. And Flash and Mandrake and the Phantom are pinned down by the ice robots of Ming's forces. The whole planet is being overrun, and they are being overrun. And well, this looks like it. And they have their showdown. Blam 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 blam, and Phantom is shot in the back by one of the ice robots. Phantom is shot in the back by ice robots. And then Lothar shows up just in the nick of time, destroying a few of them. But then they get a hold of him while Mandrake is helping the wounded Phantom. They're trying to get to Mandrake's mansion, which is the headquarters for the Defenders. And just as this robot is about to kill Lothar, they all stop and then just freeze in place. And kablooey! There's a big old explosion, kablooey, and we see something tossed, and it is what? See, this is darker than the TV show or the comic, because Ming's head comes rolling out, and there's Flash. Flash has killed Ming, defeated the forces, and then this skipped 4 years later, 2024, current year. Of course, this has to be an alternate timeline because none of those events actually happened. And Earth is well on its way to recovering from that invasion. And we're seeing Rick Gordon, that's Flash Gordon's son, at the headquarters of the new headquarters of Defenders of the Earth, which is a corporation headed by Flash Gordon. And Rick is trying to see his father. And who was once the little boy Kashin is now grown up, and Flash's personal assistant, and can't get in, and he's having to, because they haven't seen each other in ages, and this is the anniversary of Rick's mother's death, and they usually get together, and he hasn't been able to do that, and then via telephone, switching to Mandrake's mansion when Lothar and his boy are packing up there and moving, because they're moving back to Africa to their country, because he is the king, and Kashin and his son, I can't remember his name, is the prince, and it's being, and the boy's mother has been in the leader. And it's some nice artwork. It's all right. And one of the things, it looks just like the animated version. I don't mean like the drawings in the old Marvel comic book, but like the animation cells that they used at the time. The kind of line work and the kind of shadows that has that Asian anime style. Who did the animation for Marvel Productions, and it's followed through. So I think it's done a good job, except he's a little more consistent on the figures than they were than they were. As a flashback to show Ming, and in the process here, apparently they still don't know the details, but apparently Ming's son helped Flash to his own benefit to eliminate defeat Ming, and we don't know. So Rick still can't get in to see his father. Everyone's leaving, breaking up. The Phantom has been recovering from his severe injury for the past 4 years. He has not been back home to Africa, and although his daughter Jetta has returned to because the jungle still needs protection, and things are. It ends in questions. Jetta shows up. The Phantom's brother shows up, who is also the Phantom. There are tensions between people. I have suspicions that Ming is not truly dead, and that there have been machinations behind the scenes, and we don't know. I didn't cover the end, the conclusions, more of what's going on. Just give you a little overview, some nice artwork, some very decent writing. We're seeing where it's going to go. And if I get a chance, we'll pick up issue 2. It's just an 8-issue limited series. And Mad Cave has also been, this is what I found out. Look at it, it has an ad for all these action figures. Defenders of the Earth action figures, Flash Gordon, and related stuff. I have 5 different versions of Flash Gordon and Ming in there. Wow. But here they have their publishing guide, and they are publishing a regular Flash Gordon monthly title and a quarterly title, ongoing series, doing this Defenders of the Earth, and they did a trade paperback reprinting the Marvel issues of Defenders of the Earth, and they are apparently reprinting some of the Flash Gordon newspaper comic strips, all of which it sounds pretty cool to me. So if you happen to be a Flash Gordon fan, and I like all of these characters, and it was great. And they just need to add some Prince Valiant into that too, because they did. Defenders of the Earth had one episode featuring Prince Valiant. So this is a cool book. If you're into that stuff, it's a good one to pick up. I'm decided to do a review of the first one. I think it's looks like it has some potential, and I loved Defenders of the Earth. So I do want to thank you for joining me. Please like, share, and subscribe. Leave your comments down below. Do you remember Defenders of the Earth, either the comic or the series? Have you seen my other video of the Defenders of the Earth? If not, go check it out. Episode 55 from about 3 years ago. So that's all I've got. And remember, people, comics are art.